Hello guys, I'm introducing here another version of the hoop stove. This one I'm going to explain and describe also the measurements if anybody want to replicate it. And why I did this video is it differs a little bit from Tetkoba's in only this way. When creating the rift piece here, Tetkoba cut it down here, cut it down here to take the lip off, and you only remain with a very soft edge here. And if it's not perfectly round and it's not perfectly straight, when trying to fit this in the taper over there, it tends to leak. And what it does really, it starts leaking from here and it burns from the inside. So to eliminate that, I left it with the lip here and only cutting a hole, as far as I can, and sand it down. And these two parts will mate face to face. There's no big deal in putting a little bit of JB weld on the edge over here, just a little bit before inserting everything in. If one wants to take the measurements, the length of the creased part is 28 millimeters, and the frill part here is 6 millimeters deep. One can notice also that I made small V notches here instead of straight cuts. This is done so when these tend to bend and fit inside, they don't overlap each other, and it will have a better fit when it is fitted in the cup over there, because it tends to go to a smaller diameter. The upper piece, I made it a bit high on purpose. Just when you put these things together, this is going to come a side burner. So I have a little bit of space, when putting on the pot, so the flames won't be so near the bottom of the pot. They tend to have a bit more room to burn. I think it will be better. Doing it this way brings the gap here, a bit large, but it doesn't matter at all. And one can drill anywhere once you are inside here. You can drill anywhere in between these spaces. The height of the final cup is 56 millimeter from here, from bottom to the very edge. This is made a little bit higher than necessary on purpose, because I like, when doing these kind of stoves, to press everything in place. Usually you have to bend these down a little bit inward, beforehand inserting them like this, so as to give them a bit the shape which they are going to finally be in. So now it will go quite quickly, and this will fit inside, and you press everything inside. Okay guys, welcome again. This is the second video about the stove. I'm going to explain how it is assembled. One thing I forgot to mention yesterday was that the diameter of this can is 57 millimeter. And the number of creases we have in this part are 18, and these are made with my jig here, which I have made and I have shown in previous videos. about the tools I use. And I have a V-notch, as I said before, and I do the creases like this in the V-notch and turn around progressively and do the creases with this tool. Okay, now it's time to insert everything together, and one has to fold these inward first a little bit just to give them shape so they'll be ready to go in the notch in the bottom of the cap. Okay, so here we assemble it and put it deeply down like this. I will push it a little bit with my fingers first just to get the frill in the notch, and try to push it as evenly as possible. Be careful, take care of the can, otherwise it will deform. So that's basically as it should be, more or less. Okay, I will put some JB Weld on here now and press everything together. Okay, this is the pipe I was mentioning yesterday. It's from these types of tubes, okay, and I cut a piece from here, which happened to be 50 millimeter in diameter. No, sorry. Well, it goes inside the rim here, just a bit loose, just a bit tight. So what I've done, I cut a few notches here, okay, and open these a little bit, like this, so that it will take shape with the V down there. So when I press everything in place, I try to do it as evenly as possible and take care of the outer rim not to disturb it. As one can see, the cup is very deep, and I will cut the unnecessary length after I press everything together. Right, I got some JB Weld here mixed up, and I'm going to put some of it just a little bit on the edge of the rim here, if one can see properly. Not too much, they only close face to face, and this is to ensure a good seal and nothing more. As long as they are tight fit together and you got good cans with no kinks in them, it will close very good, very tightly. Okay, right, we have it all done all the way around with the JB Weld. Now it's time to insert this in the cup. Okay, be careful not to spill all over the thing, like this, and just push it down slowly and evenly as possible. Okay, you got the edge to guide you. Here, as I said, I'm going to use my tool here. First I try to press it with my hand like this. Okay, and it's in there. Now all I need is to measure up the rim and see what we have here. Right, everything is pressed in place, and I just measured what I have remaining of the cap, and I found that I have around 6 millimeter from the edge of the inner hoop and the outside cap. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark 2 millimeters off and cut them out. So I only have about 4 millimeters to turn the lip off. Right, I marked about 2 millimeters there all the way around, and it's going to be cut, excuse me, with the scissors. If you're right-handed, it's better to cut this way. You can see more accurately what you're doing. Having to position the cup and the scissors in this way. So we now have about 1/8 of an inch or so, about 3 or 4 millimeters there. Right, what I've done here is I kept the inner hoop and everything pressed in and made 3 kinks here, not to let it come up again, because the bottom part tends to be a bit springy and tends to pop up a little bit again. So I did this not to help it not to come out again. So here goes. I'm going to turn the lip gently side by side like this. This is the way I finish things off. Get a piece of pipe and roll it over the edge like this. You just press and roll it, and it will roll on its own. And that way you flatten everything down. I like to use this kind of stove because one, it works very efficiently. Secondly, having the crease part inside will help it to get a stiffer cup and won't damage itself very easily. It's still a bit fragile anyway, but at least it's a bit stronger than a normal stove. So it's more forgiving for a little knock here and there. Okay, so I got a piece of masking tape around here. I measured up 12 millimeter from the edge up to here, and we're going to mark it all the way around. I prepared the spacers, trying to find suitable ones until I get the right measurement. Right, I made a divider here. Basically, this is made by marking a line here at the edge of the paper, putting it around the can and finding the exact size until they meet together here. After you have the size of the perimeter from there to there, I have this dividing tool here, which it expands, and I just measured half of it first and made the divisions with it like this, and get them all exactly together until I got 18 divisions. I got 18 creases here, and this burner is going to have around 18 jets. Alright, it's time now to put these together with a piece of tape like this. There it goes. You see, the markings now meet exactly together, or nearly. Yes, they do. Another piece of tape will have to stand by, not to make a very long video. Anyhow, get this permanent marker and start marking out where the jets happen to be. Now, the masking tape will help in both ways. One, you have better markings there, and it serves while drilling the holes, the drill won't slide on the slippery aluminum. It will guide you, and you'll be more accurate in doing so. Right, it's time to drill some holes here. So be very careful. You have to have a sharp eyesight for this work, otherwise if you're not seeing properly you can do good work. So be very gentle, as you can see, with a couple of turns it's easily drilled. I'm sorry that you may not be seeing properly what am I doing because of my finger. I try to do another angle. Maybe you can see more properly. First you try to put a marking there and drill the tape, and then put a little bit of pressure with your finger and drill the hole. Okay, the drilling is done. Okay, and I'm going to clean with this tea wool for any possible edges here, and it's time to polish the thing now. By the way, I want to mention something. It's better to initially clean the tin while it's still full with soda, because the pressure inside the tin will help you to keep the tin stiff and will not let it collapse. Okay, going to put some polish here. Only a little bit at a time. Okay, just smear it a little bit with your finger here, like this. Polish out this stove. Mind you, I was drilling the holes with a 0.8 millimeter drill. Okay, I forgot to mention it. I will start off with 0.8, see how it bends, and if it's not enough I will widen up, maybe rise it up to 1 millimeter, but I think 0.8 will suffice here. So this is basically part of it. I will finish it off and make a burn test of it. Okay guys, here is the finished product. Okay, after the polishing, I even polished the bottom, and the reason for this, I've seen a video on YouTube that somebody was explaining if you don't have nothing at all to start a fire with, maybe you can use this as a lens. You shine it in the sun and reflect it to some kindling, and maybe you can start a fire with it. So I decided to polish it as well and it's there just in case there is an emergency going on. Anyway, there's the stove, it's finished, and when the JB weld hardens we'll give it a burn test. Thank you guys.